Hi everyone, I'm Abby, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Now, last episode we finished up the middle part of the third case, like the third part. We're getting into the end now. This won't be the last episode of this case, though. Second to last, I think. Yeah, see, it says ladder, so we're almost done. Where's the crossing, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Why is it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. Moved out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Well, let's get down to it. First thing off the bat, you'll notice there's a silver object here. What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? A pendant, huh? It's a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly, I can't believe you're one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding? Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. Even knowing that, I can't call this case solved. Or over. Hey, guys. Case closed. Get the car ready on me the special one for this young lady. Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Hunter's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. Officer Meekins is cleared of all charges, I see. That's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession. Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. You've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops? Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? It's fine if you're the one behind everything. But only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as a losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear all about the evil deeds you committed today. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that he could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There, are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes the second time. Unless you have the guts to admit to what you've done. Can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession.
Hold it!
Why do you think he did? I have no idea. Maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Pops. Wait. Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do. I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon would have been able to bring himself to kill. Wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. Yeah.
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This pair of wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right. They're the same color and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. What? No, that can't be. So the two make a set. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Ling. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Pen-Eve-Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. Yeah. Getting what they're saying?
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devore, the name that is etched on that horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense, given what is written in Mr. Devore's dossier. What I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true identity of him. Yeah.
Take that!
Mr. Devore had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie! That person was not my father! I couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
Not so fast!
And what is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter, but isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano, and the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Which would seem my scenario is perfectly probable as well. So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that they didn't know of their true relationship, right? You're saying the two of them committed the kidnapping together? That's right. That's one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I better take a good long hard look at the evidence. There's an issue with that, though. 3 costumes are stolen, not just 2.
Objection!
This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone. And what kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also find a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. All clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Yeah, it was him. The whole setup.
Take that!
Lance Amano? Yes, the abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible you couldn't see all 3 of them. Yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. And would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. The kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands are cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from the room as fast as I could. Suspicious looking, isn't it, this sprite? Through the underground passageway, I presume? Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall the horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, or because they're all like that? I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There is a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's spread the offers up when it push a little.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? And why didn't you just get out of there if the door leading outside was locked? I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. Remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I must let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. However, it wasn't locked, because there was a prop door to jam the handle. That's why the officers couldn't open it.
Objection!
You say the door leading out was locked, but was it really? We're talking about the room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Shinna? Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. You did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive. What else? Do you honestly think that an upright pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
Objection!
This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Yeah. Remember the tender lender letter? It's a loan company, so yeah, he's in debt.
Take that!
To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter, it is in fact a collections bill. It appears your upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. Must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? All right, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance. It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go out with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted to be well off with that $1 million, but now the dream is over. Oh, Lance. Then you were giving yourself up? Yes, I planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't watch us put the ransom money. That's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. Left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Miss Pops. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. And Oliver put on a bad Badger costume. Took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. Contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. I had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could be only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you? Eh. Interesting, isn't it? That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, it was a bad Badger pulling the suitcase with $1 million in it. But that Badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. It was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground and I ran, scared for my life. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was? What she says is true. Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You won't be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, okay? Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more, and you'll see.
Hold it!
Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why'd you try to shoot me? You really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. That badger pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead. His dominant hand is right. Yeah, that's the issue with this one.
Objection!
I have your dossier on your father. According to this, your father was right-handed. Ah, then the person pointing a gun at you from top of the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Is it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was just saying? Then again, I suppose I can expect someone who has never set foot in a court to catch it. Enough of the smugness. Out with it already. Miss Pops told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Mrs. Pops? Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was a Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. But if that's the case, even I can see there was a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. They are both correct. Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw sunglasses and beard. Or if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half. This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands.
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them, a head and a body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, it is not possible that the body was that of an entirely. Is it not possible the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the body.
Take that!
What? The heck is it? It's the Proto-Badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter process of elimination. Miss Pops is wearing the Blue Badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the Pink Badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that's left is the Proto-Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto-Badger costume? That would be Lance.
Not so fast!
Are you seeing what I think you are? The Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which he planned to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. His purpose was to lay Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim, it was all done so she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There is but one reason, Lance Amano. You were the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander! Take it back! You take it back right now! Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, your attacker held a gun in his left hand. Who was wet-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto-Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right?
Objection!
Of course. Logical, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. It's capable of firing blanks.
Take that!
We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout. A broken one. It was not the same one the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is a model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where is the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can't safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting for so far is pure conjecture. I meant that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can't say the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Huh, I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please wait a second, it's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in a state of being restrained. Came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. Had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. Then to meet up again at the stage of the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park yard, I called from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at the time. And then, the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine in more detail.
Hold it!
We're sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I am certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. It just had to be Mr. Deacon. She saw a Bad Badger head? Had to have had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon.
Hold it!
So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his Bad Badger costume? Yes. And? It would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I'll tell you why not. With this. This, Miss Pops, shows us the person you saw was not the victim.
Take that!
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. Remember we were kidnapped? It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? Yes. You show Miss Pops a person, namely me with a Bad Badger's head on. And then made your costume escape together, or so you pretended. What? Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with a prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in the tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot coming out of you, but have yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment? All that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would still see me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacons, but didn't go into the next room. I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, what's means you can't prove a thing. Ugh. Who said that? Please wait. Mr. Romano. Oh, Miles, my boy. It looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. Let's see. You were the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sure that my son has been nothing but trouble. It's probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you know? Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing, and a gun. I could have waited right for the police, so I wouldn't have found these myself. It appears they were disposed of in the sea. So no one in this country actually obeys the law. There. Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the chief of police. Please allow Mr. Romano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The chief of police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. There now. There was no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. I can't believe I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand. It doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. A specialist forensics research lab and I'm on good terms with conducting the tests. You are verified the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints I could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. The goodness was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it? He's like he's making pieces of evidence? I'll be the judge of that. Yeah. What's this? Looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle, but they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. Why are they in here? Is this gonna be the actual murder weapon? This bullet hole looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks left by the gunpowder. This is the most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. They prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. Fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want you to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch as she takes the punishment for her crimes. It may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. A job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wounded me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence?
Hold it!
Those fingerprints. Are you sure they belong to Miss Pops? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I have the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pops' prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pops' prints should not be on the gun is... she was wearing her costume, remember? Yeah.
Take that!
It's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing her costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pops, you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Yes. As a matter of fact, I did hold her for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. Retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That's when Miss Pops' prints found their way onto the gun. Grrr. You understand now, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about assisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance. What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. That doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium? The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Yeah.
Take that!
Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. Yeah. You just figured out that it was at point blank range, so if it was at the stadium, it would have been too far away.
Take that!
The burner on this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point blank range. Ah, so then you mean the murder Miss Wilbeck saw at the stadium really was? Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. The victim was indeed shot from below the stage. It shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Does he seem to know all the answers? Why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? And set me up to look like a Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was imprisoned was... I've got it. I know the real scene of the murder. The real location which Mr. Deacon was killed is here. Yeah. Here's the mirror fragments. I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it's highly likely the victim was killed there. Our proof is the real scene of the crime was haunted house. Yeah.
Take that!
These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? What does that have to do with anything? Indeed. You don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, it's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose you killed Mr. Deacon with a revolver in the haunted house. After that, you stole the Blue Badger Mobile to move his body to the Wild rest area. The timing when the Blue Badger Mobile was stolen confirms this is a fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet. Yes, please, do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Shana, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see? Isn't it possible the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so probability is very low. Probability? Lang Z says, on truth's path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. Question, Mr. Prosecutor, is do you have the definitive proof you need? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, and I can prove Miss Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted, but you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, so long as it is. Shana, I'm here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? Now. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this? Shana? It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash. What? As you can see, I'm now a legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you? I ran into the owner of the park earlier and made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move, and you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was. Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. You even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier, so I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End their discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Mr. Amano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will never be lost forever. Quite the turn of events, huh? And there's still one more part after this. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe and check out my Twitch and profile on Twitter/X. And next episode we'll be finishing up the third case. So yeah, hope you join me for that, and peace off.